Raise emotionally strong children. Lesson 4. How to discipline without shouting. Be honest for a second. Have you ever shouted at your child and then felt guilty about it 5 minutes later? If you have, you are not a bad parent. You're a human parent. Almost every parent has been there, exhausted, frustrated, and out of patience in the moment. But here's a question worth asking. Does shouting actually work? It often stops the behavior for a moment. But research in child development suggests it rarely teaches the lesson we actually want our child to learn. So, what does work? How do you set firm limits, correct behavior, and keep your authority as a parent without raising your voice? That's exactly what this lesson is about. And the answer might be simpler and more powerful than you expect. Explain the science simply. Let's understand what actually happens in a child's brain during a shouting moment. Remember the upstairs and downstairs brain idea from our first lesson? When a parent shouts, the child's brain often shifts into a state of alarm. In simple terms, this means the downstairs brain, the part that reacts to danger, becomes highly active, while the upstairs brain, the part that listens, reasons, and learns, quietly shuts down. This means that in the exact moment we want our child to understand something, shouting can actually make it much harder for them to learn it. Here's a helpful way to picture it. Imagine trying to teach someone math while a fire alarm is going off right next to them. Even if they want to learn, their brain is focused on the alarm, not the lesson. Shouting can work like that fire alarm. It gets attention, but it blocks learning. This doesn't mean discipline is bad or that children shouldn't have consequences. Boundaries and consequences are essential for healthy development. Discipline is not the problem. Shouting is often just an ineffective delivery method for it. Researchers in child development often describe strong discipline as having two equally important parts: warmth and structure. Warmth means your child feels loved and safe. Structure means your child knows the clear limits and expectations. Shouting usually removes warmth in the moment, even if just briefly, while structure stays the same or gets confusing. The goal is to keep both warmth and structure in place, even while correcting behavior. That's what the next 3 tips are designed to help you do. 3 practical parenting tips. Tip 1. Lower your voice as the behavior gets bigger. Why it works. When a child's behavior escalates, our instinct is often to raise our voice to match their energy. But a calm, lower voice signals safety to a child's nervous system, which actually helps them settle faster than shouting does. Real-life example. Instead of raising your voice when your child ignores you, try taking a step closer, lowering your voice, and saying slowly, "I need you to stop now." Let's talk about this calmly. Common challenge. This is genuinely difficult in the heat of the moment, especially when you're already stressed, tired, or being watched by others. This is a practice skill, not something anyone does perfectly every time. Start today. Pick just one moment today where you feel your voice rising. Try lowering it instead of raising it, even slightly. Notice what happens. Tip 2. Set the limit first, explain after. Why it works. In a heated moment, children often can't process long explanations. Their upstairs brain is temporarily overwhelmed. Giving a short, clear limit first helps them feel safe. The deeper explanation can come later, once everyone is calm. Real-life example. In the moment, hitting is not okay. Stop now. Later, once calm, I know you were upset that your brother took your toy. Let's talk about what else you could do next time. Common challenge. It can feel tempting to explain everything immediately, especially when you want your child to understand right away. But timing matters just as much as the words themselves. Start today. Next time you need to stop a behavior, use one short, calm sentence in the moment. Save the longer conversation for later. Tip 3. Use consequences, not threats. Why it works. Threats said in anger, "If you do that again, you'll never play outside again," are often impossible to actually follow through on, and children learn to stop taking them seriously. Calm, realistic consequences, decided in advance when possible, teach children that actions lead to outcomes without fear or unpredictability. Real-life example. Instead of shouting, "That's it, no screen time for a month," try calmly saying, in advance or in the moment. If the toys aren't picked up by dinner, they'll rest in the box until tomorrow. Common challenge. In a frustrated moment, calm consequences can feel less powerful than shouting. In reality, consistency works far better than intensity, even though it takes more patience to apply. Start today. Choose one common conflict in your home. Decide, in advance, one calm and realistic consequence and try applying it consistently without raised volume. Common parenting mistake. Here's a mistake that almost every parent has made, including those who deeply love their children and are doing their absolute best. Believing that shouting shows a child you're serious and that speaking calmly means you're being too soft. This idea often comes from how many of us were raised, where a raised voice was the main way rules were enforced. But shouting mainly teaches intensity, not understanding. Children may comply out of fear in the moment, but over time, this pattern can affect how safe a child feels expressing emotions at home, and can sometimes lead to children either becoming fearful of mistakes or, in some cases, becoming used to shouting and no longer responding to it at all. If shouting happens sometimes in your home, please hear this clearly. You are not a failure, and this does not define you as a parent. Nearly every parent has raised their voice at some point, especially during difficult seasons of parenting. A healthier alternative, firmness does not require volume. A calm, serious tone, direct eye contact, and a clear, short sentence can communicate just as much authority as shouting, often more effectively, and with far less emotional cost for both of you. If you find that shouting happens very often and feels hard to control, it can help to speak with a counselor or child development professional, not because something is wrong with you, but because extra support can make real, lasting change easier. Action for today. Here is a simple activity you can do today in less than 10 minutes. The calm signal practice. Choose a simple phrase or signal you and your child agree on together, something like placing a hand on your chest or saying pause. That means, let's both take a breath before we continue. Practice it once today in a calm moment, not during conflict. Say something like, from now on, when either of us says pause, we're going to take a slow breath together before talking. Want to try it now? Practicing this signal when things are calm makes it much easier to use later, in a real moment of frustration for both you and your child. Let's end today's lesson with one sentence to remember. A calm voice doesn't mean a weak parent, it means a brain that's ready to learn. If this lesson gave you something useful today, please like this video, subscribe to continue this course, and share it with a parent, teacher, or caregiver who might need it too. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What helps you stay calm during a hard parenting moment? Your answer might be exactly what another parent needs to hear today. See you in the next lesson. Note, this course provides general, evidence-informed parenting guidance and is not a substitute for professional advice. If you have ongoing concerns about your own emotional responses or your child's emotional or mental health, please consult a qualified counselor, pediatrician, or child development professional.